All right, let's see. AR Green, are you there?
Yes, sir. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of signal problem. I apologize.
It's all good, man. How are you, man?
We're doing good, man. We're doing good. We're over here in West Texas right now, about to roll out the project and do a couple of shows down here and really get back home and turn up the scene. It's been a little stale and no life going right now.
Hmm. So you wanted to be back on the show because you had some things you wanted to talk about. Obviously, new music. Um, and you also got some more material on the way.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
So
we got a lot.
yeah, so let's have a conversation about this.
Okay.
So first things first, I think I got a message from you a while back. You did a music video with Fireworks, Lucid Dreams 2. I think it's the name of the
Yes,
track.
sir.
So
Yes, sir.
that's definitely your way to get things going. So talk about obviously Lucid, the first Lucid Dreams track that's on the platforms already. That's from years back. So talk about
Right.
what led to doing Lucid Dreams 2.
Um, well, me and Chad kind of felt like we had a little bit of unfinished business with Lucid Dreams because the original Lucid Dreams, we had a visual like already like in our head about like what we were wanting to do, how we wanted to shoot it, and we weren't able to find like the scenery that we were wanting, and then it just never came to fruition. So years had went by, a few years went by, and I was sitting in the studio a couple months ago, and I had came across an instrumental that I got in a package, and really vibed with it. So I popped it in the DAW, and sat down with it, and Lucid Dreams 2, hook flowed out, and I called Chad, or I didn't call him, I messaged him, and I was like, I've got the beat, I've got the hook wrote for Lucid Dreams 2. Are you wanting on this one as well? He's like, yeah, send it. So I sent it, after I recorded my parts and stuff, and he had messaged me and was like, check out what I did to the hook, and it like, cause the hook wasn't really dubbed, and it was just kind of like, I wouldn't say lifeless, like it still had a lot of air and life in it, but it what Chad did, like he just pretty much gave it that like two tone, my tone, his tone, and it gave it like a real Blink 182, Sum 41 vibe, and we really liked it. And when it came time to, start, shooting videos and stuff for this project, and I called Chad and I was like, look, man, I know we were wanting to do that one, but what if we did this one? And this is kind of how, I had an idea. I pitched it to him. He's like, I'm down, and so I hit Looney Films from over there in Louisville, Kentucky, and him and Chad and J Rags to Riches all drove up, and we just went to work. But we just didn't shoot the Lucid Dreams 2 that weekend. We shot another video for a track called No Advice that's also going to be on this project that's going to come out this next month. Um, and we shot both of those the same day, and it was really fun. We had a lot of fun. Working on the Lucid Dreams 2 and No Advice. Because that was something that Chad had already heard, and he really fucked with it. No Advice. He encouraged me to maybe shoot a video, but he wanted me to shoot a video for this other track that's on the project as well, but we just didn't get around to it. But yeah, we definitely have one out right now and still have one in the chamber ready to release.
Gotcha. So Lucid Dreams 2 and All Alone, not even on the platforms yet, but you can
Nope.
check out
Yeah.
the music video for Lucid Dreams 2 on YouTube. Look up AR Green. It's on there. So go, and you can also get a little sneak peek of All Alone by the end of the video. So,
Mm.
so what is the name of this project that you got going on? Is it a full length album? Is it a mixtape? What direction are you going on this one?
We we well, I sat down and really, you know, was selective on what I really wanted to do. Like this one, we're calling Alter Egos 2. It's going to be a second part to the last project that we put out.
Mm.
Um, so we weren't originally working on an Alter Egos 2. It was more of a personal type of, project where it was going to be all personal. But whenever I write, I like to write a lot of boom bap, heavy rap. That's my style that I grew up in. So I tend to find me veer off and make other tracks like that. And we were just sitting on a lot, and I was just like, I just don't want to sit on these forever. Like a lot of these are really great quality tracks. Like they're not something I can just throw away. So I was like, we have enough tracks to where this one's going to be 16 tracks. This one has an intro skit, an interlude skit, and an outro skit. It'll be the first time that I've done that on any project. But this one really is a lot deeper on the back half end than the last project. And there's definitely a lot more growth in delivery and the subject matter just on the overall project itself.
I definitely like that. I enjoyed the first Also Eagles project. I think we did the first interview after that was released, so we got familiar
Mm-hmm.
with that. With AR Green, I think he was living in Kentucky at the time,
Yes,
from my
yes.
understanding. So you all relocated back to your old stomping grounds in Texas. From my understanding, you an Oklahoma football fan, and you in Texas. Um,
Oh
so
man, it's always been bad blood in the family since I was a kid.
mm, so you know, and I will definitely get back to the music aspect, but we're being sports fanatics here,
Oh
and
yeah. Oh
I,
yeah.
I'm on Facebook like everybody else. Like I read posts, I read people's reactions, so forth. So obviously, Oklahoma is going and their bitter rival Texas, both will be moving to the SEC within the next couple
Yeah.
of years. You got a new head coach. Lincoln Riley has took the money and went to the West to USC, I
Uh,
believe.
yeah.
Um,
Yep. He took his talents to Southern California.
yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
as a passionate Oklahoma Sooners fan, how do you feel about Oklahoma entering this coming season and long term as, they get to the end of their run in the Pac-10
Um.
or Big 12, excuse me,
Well.
my bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. The Big 12. Um. So like I understand it from the standpoint of this is going to be beneficial not just for the University of Oklahoma, but for the University of Texas itself. Because yeah, you're getting to play, higher competition going into the SEC. Because I think if you're just in like a football, college, in general, that the SEC runs, college football, but you're also getting to open up old rivals from back in the day, like Texas, Arkansas, Texas A&M. That was played on Thanksgiving Day majority of my entire childhood.
Hmm.
And like Oklahoma and Texas A&M haven't played in a decade. Oklahoma and Arkansas haven't played for damn near 15 years. So there's a lot of revenue that's going to be brought into this deal, but I like the direction that Oklahoma is headed. You brought back the defensive coordinator from, when we won our last national championship in 2000. So we brought him back, but he's also won multiple national championships as a defensive coordinator for Clemson for the past 10 years. So it's not like we're going to have like a major drop off. I mean, we may see a little bit of a drop off when it comes to the offensive, firepower, but I think right now Oklahoma is really headed in the right direction culture wise than what it was under Lincoln Riley.
Yeah. So obviously y'all been in the college playoff multiple times in the past few years. And Big 12, obviously, y'all literally dominated that conference, especially since the college playoff was began, obviously. So you go into the SEC, and I guess it depends on what side you're on. There's Georgia on one side, and there's Alabama on the other side. So I'm curious as to what sides are Texas and Oklahoma gonna be on, and would that be a factor? So
I have Oklahoma being in the same division as Alabama. It's just you got two of the biggest names in college football when it comes to history, national championships, players going to the league, you name it. Oklahoma and Alabama are always in that conversation.
Yeah.
So I feel like I see it from the standpoint of, a business standpoint, but you also in a competition, Coach V, he's really, he brought and recruited a lot of talent to Clemson that, is starters in the, in the NFL today, and they're successful. Like, he knows how to recruit, so, but I feel like Texas right now, like Texas hasn't been Texas football since Mac Brown left.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're going to be more on, the Vanderbilt side of things. I'm not linking Vanderbilt in Texas because I know what Texas's stature is, across the country, when it comes to, its magnitude in sports. But I feel like right now that's probably where their best placement would be, because if you put them in, the Southern Division, like they're going to get ate up. Like they just don't have the recruitment class.
Yeah. Matt Brown and Vince Young, pretty much, they haven't really been that much of a powerhouse since those two left. And Matt Brown went on to have some success in North Carolina, making them relevant.
Yeah.
And of course, now I'm an Ohio State guy, and the quarterback is most likely going to be Quinn Ewers, a 5-star guy. He's a Texas native. Look, my thing with him.
He transferred back to Texas.
Yeah.
He transferred back to Texas.
Yeah, he transferred back to Texas. So, as it pertains to him, as a Ohio State fan, I wish him luck. He went to Ohio State because I guess there was some NIL situation with Texas, a high school. So he went up there. He only had one snap with Ohio State the entire season. So Jack Miller, he went to Florida, and Ewers went to Texas. So he's got 5 years of eligibility since he really didn't get much playing time at all. But I wish him well. I ain't got no ill will towards the dude. He's a young man trying to get an opportunity, and if he wants to be the savior for his Longhorns, more power to him. But hey, Texas, I've never forget that bowl game that Texas won, and the quarterback Ellinger, he said, "Longhorn Nation, we're back." I'm like,
oh yeah, it was all over from that.
That was one of the best sound bites. Like, I wanted to believe it because, like, that was a good team. But
it was. They were a very solid football team.
Yeah. So I don't know. New coach, new QB, new everything for Texas. Like, Oklahoma is just a notch ahead, even without Riley. So they gonna be
Yeah.
fine. The Sooners gonna be fine.
Oh, good.
So it's not much to talk about there. So
Yeah.
I'm joined with AR Green, hip hop artist. Look out for the album Alter Eagles 2. Look out for the fireworks joint and All Alone. The fireworks music video is available on YouTube right now. So go watch it. It's doing pretty well view wise. So definitely spread the word. And look, man, he's back home. You're literally pulling in Quinn Ewers. You're back to the old stuffing grounds and you representing. Granted, you an Oklahoma
Yeah.
guy, but you get the analogy there. But
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah, so support the brother. He's got shows on the way. Check him out on social media, AR Green on Facebook and on Instagram. And then
Yeah.
check and
At TR Green 859.
yes, so Alto Eagles 2 is on the way. If you like the first one, you're gonna like this next project. Definitely giving you the vibes, but also showing some growth on this project. And who knows he's going to link up. He might link up with his Texas homies. He might link up with some of the Kentucky homies. You find out once
Hey,
the album release.
I got a little bit of everything, and I got one of your favorite artists on there. I had to bring back Dizzy Wallace for the second one.
Yes,
So
that's what I'm talking about. That Chasing the Crown joint. That joint is fire. Shout out to Dizzy, man. Shout out to the homie.
yeah,
Shout out
shout
to the
out Dizzy
Lexington
Wallace.
folks. Chasing the Crown joint. I played that a lot on Spotify. I did. And so I'm glad that y'all two linked up again. That's gonna be fire. And you're a Cleveland Browns fan as well. They are going to do their changes as well. Deshaun Watson's your guy now.
Yep.
So he signed the biggest extension in NFL history, $232 million. He's got a lot to prove. He's got a lot of adversity to deal with as well. So, in your honest opinion, what was your reaction when the trade happened, and how you are you feeling about the Browns um, entering this season, knowing that there's going to be a suspension looming for Mr. Watson?
Mm-hmm.
What are you feeling about Deshaun Watson now that everything has died down since the trade, per se?
So for like me, being an Oklahoma fan, of course I'm a Baker Mayfield fan.
Yeah.
But I'm a realist, and I understand that there's a gap between Deshaun Watson and Baker Mayfield. Like when it comes to skill wise, just the accuracy, the arm strength, the field vision, the IQ, Deshaun Watson checks every single box. Baker Mayfield doesn't. Like I love him to death, and he's the greatest, probably Oklahoma quarterback of all time. Arguably, but he doesn't size up and measure up to what Deshaun Watson can do on the football field. So I understand the move, but now with the civil lawsuits pending, there's not any like criminal, but we also just watched in baseball Trevor Bauer, I think it's what I believe what his name is. He had one case that was a civil case, and they suspended him for 300 and something games.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah. He literally missed the entire season. He won it out of Houston to begin with, and then the allegations started to pile up. So we'll see now. Jacoby Brissett, Joshua Dobbs are your backups. And speaking of
solid quarterbacks.
And speaking of Baker Mayfield, he's still under contract with the Browns. $19 million is owed to him. So, man, and I guess they've tried to trade him, and no takers, it appears. So,
Yeah, no takers right now.
yeah,
They're wanting. I think Andrew Barry is wanting like a second or a third, and then you
yeah,
take on his entire contract. Like, like, like that's a big,
yeah,
like financial and future of your organization, type of move because you don't know if you're going to get a diamond in the rough in the third round.
yeah.
You know what I mean? That happens all the time.
It
I believe
does.
Russell Wilson was a third round pick.
Yes, he was.
You know, so I mean, there's all kinds of variables that play into it, but I believe that I believe Baker is a top 32 quarterback in the NFL. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't think he's a top 15 quarterback at this moment.
yeah,
Does he have the potential? I mean, yeah. I mean, Baker has all the potential in the world, but he rubs people the wrong way, and just his vibe and just like the way he carries himself, it deters a lot of people from actually, getting to
yeah,
know him, and actually being able to have a chemistry with
yeah.
him. So
So,
like,
mhm. So, ironically, what happened to him was it was the game against the Texans. I think it was the team that
yeah, yeah, he
Deshaun.
threw an interception
So he threw the
in the second
interception.
quarter.
He was trying to tackle the guy that he was trying to make a play. He was trying to be a teammate, and he
Yeah.
hurt his shoulder, and that was a wrap for him.
Hmm.
So yeah, and fast forward to now, it's like, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Regardless of where Baker ends up, he's going through that humble feeling right now.
Oh
Like
yeah,
number
for
one
sure.
pick, won a playoff game for the
Won a
franchise.
Heisman Trophy.
So he did all of that, and now he's either going to get traded or he's going to get released. So
Yeah, that's what it's looking like.
yeah, so Cleveland made their decision, and they're going to deal with it. They'll deal with whatever NFL brings to them, punishment presents to Watson, and we go on from there. But